Hello and welcome back to AprilMayCodes. I'm your host, April May, and in today's video, I'll be continuing my live coding Flask Moon Planner app that I started a couple videos ago. I have made a couple changes to the code since my last video. The main thing is in the models, I added to sign to card, I added a sign ID because I don't want just a prompt for each card. I want a prompt that's specific to that tarot card in that astrological sign. So I added a sign ID to each card, and then I'll have to add all 78 cards for each sign, which is going to take me quite a while, but I'll get to it eventually. So then in signs, I added this cards db.relationship so that it would link the two. So that's it for models. And then I also made some changes. I added my location or my API key in config.py. And then in our daily routes, I took out what I had that was creating the new day and everything, the new models and putting them in the chart. And I decided to use a different API to get the moon phase because Flatlib is really great. It creates charts, it gets aspects, it has a lot of really great information, but most of it I don't actually need. And the moon phases from Flatlib are only the 4 main moon phases. And I wanted all 8 moon phases. So I got this weather.visualcrossing.com has an API where you can get the moon phase. So I added some code in here to do that. I installed requests, pip install requests, and then a response equals request.get, and then the link, and I've got config.zip code for the area and config.weather API key for my API key, and we're just returning the moon phase. And that's here, print response.json days 0 because it's the first thing in the list, and then the moon phase. And that returns the moon phase as, let me run the code here. So this will run when I go, let's refresh this because I wasn't running before. When I go to the calendar, when I click a day, then when I go to a day before it returns the template, it will print the response. And that is a decimal value. So let's see, weather.visualcrossing.com. Let me pull that up to find out what values were for each moon phase. Okay. They have this page on how to include sunrise, sunset, moon phase, moonrise, etc. And the moon phase number is here. And it said, yeah, for the quarterly phases, the new moon, first quarter, full moon, and last quarter, it will round up, or it'll round to the quarterly phase value. So for those days, it won't be 0.01. It will just go to 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75. So we can get those dates. And then anything else is going to be a range. So it'll be a waning crescent, waning gibbous, waxing gibbous, or waxing crescent. So we got, what was it, 0.82, I think? 0.82. So that is going to be a waning crescent moon. So I'm using this visual crossing API for the moon phase, but I still want to use Flatlib because I do need the moon sign. So let me see if I can remember how to do that. So for each day, or let's just start with creating a chart. Actually, let me open up my other project so I can look at how I did this. Where is it? Oh, it's not on this computer. I was on a different computer. So I will go to GitHub and grab that project so I can take a look at it. Okay. Let's go back here. So we've got the date, the time, the day date, which we need for flatlib, or no, which we need. Why did we need the day date? Is that what I put in here? No, I just passed date in there. So I wonder if we don't even need this day date value. But I think I used the day date to create, yeah, I used that to create the day underscore date because I'm not great at naming things, with the slashes instead of the dashes for flatlib. Okay, so when we create a day, or when we click on a day, I can get rid of this, or we'll do this. Moon phase, or we'll say phase number is equal to that. And let's put in right here a dictionary, phases, and get those numbers. 0, 0 to 0.24. So 0 is going to be new. Oh, how can should I do a string? Or no, I can just do 0.24 and then I'll do, I think that'll work. That is waxing crescent. 0.25 is first, that's a string, first quarter. And then the next range is going to be 0.4. First quarter. Because 0.5 is a full moon, so we'll say 0.49 is waxing gibbous. 0.5 is the full moon. Then we want 0.74, 0.75, and 1. Waning gibbous. 0.75 is third quarter. And then 1 is, why is that? What did I do wrong? Nothing. 1 is the waning crescent. Okay. So we'll say phase. We'll just call this phase instead of moon phase. Phase is equal to phases, phase num. No, that's not going to work because I only have, So how can I do this? I could do for key. Okay, so for key in phases, if phase num equals key. Phase is equal to, is it key dot value? I don't think that's right. If I say phase equals key, that's going to set the phase equal to the key. So what if I do for key value in phases, phase equals value? I think that'll work. So if the phase num is equal to the key, then we'll do L if, no, because I can't say if it's less than the key. Because then it's going to go through each key and it will, but I could break. So elif phase is less than the key, phase equals value, and then we'll break. So the first one that it's less than, why is this grayed out? Because I already assigned phase? Oh no, because it's not used. So where is that used? So let's just print phase when we click on a day. So let's go back to the calendar. Let's say for 8. Nope, something's wrong. Cannot unpack non-iterable object. Okay, so for key in dictionary Python. We want, okay. That's just going to return the keys. That's just going to return the values. Oh, okay, I didn't do dot keys though. In phases dot keys. No, because I need the values too. Ugh. But I could do, okay, equals phases key. No, I put that in the wrong place. If it's equal to key, then it's equal to phases key. That's how we can access the value. Phases key, and we should be able to print the phase. So let's try that. Nope, that shouldn't be elif phase. That should be phase num. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. All right, so we should print a moon phase down here. Waning crescent. Let's make sure that's right. November 8th, 2023, moon phase, waning crescent. All right, let's try another one. Let's do today, 14th, and we've got waxing crescent. And November 14th, waxing crescent. All right, so it looks like that is working. So in my database here, I added all of my phases: new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent. And that's what did I call it last quarter or third quarter in my dictionary here? Third quarter. So let's change that to last quarter. so that the phase will match up with the database so we can get the values that we need. And in my database, I also added each moon phase. So this is the phase ID and the sign ID, and then the meaning of the moon phase and that sign, the theme. So these are all of the new moon, the waxing, crescent, the first quarter, etc. And then I went to prompts and I added some prompts for each of the moon phases. So for each moon phase that's in a sign, there is a specific prompt for it that I got from ChatGPT because I'm entirely unoriginal. So I've got some journal prompts for each moon phase in each sign. Just a couple. I got 3 for the new moon in each phase, and then 2 for everything else. I think that's right. 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, yeah. And then these are 2. Okay. So that's working. Now let's work on creating our days. So we set our phase equal to stuff. Let me find out when the full moon was and make sure that that's working. November 2023, full moon. The 13th? No, full moon is the 27th. So let's check the 27th right here. And we should have full moon. Oh, I took out my print statement. Okay, try that again. That was for the 27th. Waning gibbous. Let's try the 26th and the 28th. Wait, waning gibbous is after the full moon, so let's try the 26th. It's supposed to round up. Let's look at the 26th. And we've got waxing gibbous. That's not right. Oh, what am I doing wrong? It's something to do with my phases here. So let's just do a long if statement. Not the neatest way, but it works. Let's just print the phase num for the 27th to make sure it's full moon. Let's go to 27th. And we should have 0.5. Okay, that's good. So that's working. So we'll take out the print statement. And then we'll say if phase num is 0, phase equals new moon. If phase num is less than 0.25, phase is equal to waxing crescent. If phase num is equal to 0.25, phase is equal to first quarter. If phase num is less than 0.5, phase is equal to waxing gibbous. L if phase num is equal to 0.5, phase is equal to full moon. L if phase num is less than 0.75, phase is equal to waning gibbous. L if phase num is equal to 0.75, phase is equal to last quarter, else phase is equal to waning crescent. All right. Then we will print phase, and we should print new full moon for the 27th. Yep. And we should print, let's see what the other ones were. November. New moon on the 13th, first quarter on the 20th. So let's check out the 13th. New moon. And the 20th. First quarter. And if the 13th is a new moon, the 14th is a waxing crescent. Perfect. All right, that's not the neatest way to handle it, but it's working, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now, where do I want that function to go? So when we click on a day, we're going to start by saying day is equal to day dot query dot filter by date is equal to day date. So we need that line to go under where we create the day date. Okay. That first. And then we'll say if not day. So if the day doesn't exist, then we're going to create a new day, which will have a new chart. So day underscore date is equal to day date dot strftime, and then a string %y capital Y slash % lowercase m slash % lowercase d. And this is all going to look familiar if you watched my last live coding video, because it's all the same code that I did. I took it out so I could work on this because I thought I wouldn't need flatlib, and then I ended up needing it. Let me go ahead and uncomment this. I had to install the build tools again. What am I doing? Had to install the build tools again, so flatlib wasn't importing. But now it does, so we can use it. Okay, so we got our day date, and then day date time. I guess I could just call this date time. No, we'll call it day date time because date time is a thing in Python. That's going to be a date time with a lowercase t. We're going to pass in day underscore date and now underscore time, and then a string that is the time zone. Then we'll create a day that will have a date equal to the day date. And actually, before we create the day, let's get the chart and the moon phase so we can pass the moon phase ID into it. Let's take that out. We don't need this formatted date right now, or, well, yeah, we do. We can put that above this here, because that's just using the date. We'll put it right there. No, we will not, because it uses day date. So we will put it right here. Okay. So if there's not a day, because if there is a day, we're already going to have the moon phase and everything. So we only need to run this code if day doesn't exist. So we'll indent this, put it up here, and we'll get the moon phase. So once we've got the moon phase, then we will say moon phase from our database is equal to, no, we'll call this phase dB, because first we need to get it from the phase table. So that's going to be phase.query.filter by, and what did I call it? That's going to be in models, phase. I just called it phase. So phase is equal to phase dot first. And then we need the sign, which means we need the chart. So we need to create a chart. So day chart is equal to a chart that's imported from Flatlib. We're going to pass in the day, date, time, config.location, which I had to comment out when Flatlib wasn't working, so I'll have to go uncomment that in a minute. And IDs is equal to const.list. Actually, I'm going to just leave that out because I think that was so that I could include different aspects, different, yeah, I don't think I need that to create a chart. And then, do I have a chart model? I think I do. Day chart. Chart is a pickle type. So it'll be, we'll do chart is equal to day chart. And chart is equal to day underscore chart. And day underscore ID. Oh, I need to create the day so I can pass the day ID in. Well, we don't need to create the chart object yet. We'll do that in a minute. So I'll just put that down there. So we've got the day chart. So we'll say moon is equal to day. You know what? I need a sign, a sun sign. Give me just a moment. Okay, I think I want to add to my models. Let's take this out so we're not having the red line there. And in my day, do I have a class for sign? I do. So I want a sign ID is equal to db.column, db.integer, db.foreign key, sign.id. And then in signs, we'll add days is equal to db.relationship day with a capital D. Backref is equal to sign, and lazy is equal to dynamic. Okay. So let's go to the terminal and do Flask DB migrate and then Flask DB upgrade. Okay. So now in my database, I should have a sign ID on my day. I'll refresh it, look at day, there's sign ID. Okay. So now back to routes. We'll say moon is equal to day chart dot get const dot moon, and sun is equal to day chart dot get const dot sun, and moon sign is equal to moon dot sign. Sun sign is equal to sun dot sign, and then moon sign db is equal to sign dot query dot filter by sign is equal to moon sign. Sun sign db. You know what? I can just say sun sign is equal to sign dot query dot filter by sign is equal to sun sign, sun dot sign, and then moon dot sign. So we'll take this out here and we'll take out this line here. So sun sign is equal to sign dot query dot filter by sign is equal to sun dot sign dot first. Moon sign is sign dot query dot filter by sign is equal to moon dot sign dot first. So we've got the sun sign and the moon sign. So when we create the day, the sign ID will be sunsign.id. And let's create the moon phase now. So we'll call that, because we've got the phase and we've got the sign. So we'll call that moon phase is equal to moon phase dot query dot filter by, and we want to do phase ID is equal to phase db.id, and sign ID is equal to moon sign dot ID dot first. Because all the moon phases are in the database already. And in day, I've got a moon phase ID. Okay, yeah. So we'll create the day with the date, the moon phase ID, and the sign ID. So we'll say day is equal to day, and we'll say date is equal to day date, moon phase ID is equal to moon phase dot ID, and sign ID is equal to sun sign, dot ID. That's all we need to pass in for the day. And then we'll do db.session.add. And what are we adding? All we created was the day, right? The phase is already in there. The moon phase is already in there. So we just need to add day. And then we'll create a chart. And the chart is the day underscore chart. And the day underscore ID is equal to day.id. And then we'll do db.session.add chart, and then db.session.commit. And then I should, let me look at the models. So day has moon phase ID. So if I look at moon phase, days has a backref phase. That should be moon phase instead of phase, but day doesn't have a reference to the day isn't linked to the actual phase, so that should be okay. Days. Yeah, I should have put moon phase for those. Oh well. So I should be able to do day dot phase dot prompts to access the prompts. So I think all I need to pass in here, we'll keep the formatted date. We don't need the regular date. And then we'll pass in day is equal to day. All right. We commit the day to the database, and that's got an ID, a date, a moon phase ID, not doing the card ID yet, not doing tasks, journals, gratitude. The chart will be linked because we create the chart and add it with the day ID and the sign IDs in there. And then in chart, it's just a chart and a day ID. So, okay, that should be it. So let's go to daily templates. And we'll say we're on the day page, and let's just make sure I can access the prompts. So we'll make an unordered list, and we'll say for prompt in day dot phase dot prompts. And then I'll do a list item that is the prompt dot prompt, I think is what I called it. Let's look at models. Prompt, yep. I need to be here. And then we will end the for loop. Okay, let's see if that works. Let's go back to the calendar. Did I break it? I bet I broke it. What did I do? Oh, I didn't fix config. Give me just a minute to fix that. Okay, I think I fixed it. Let's refresh. We're back on the calendar. And we've got some prompts. What new adventures or experiences am I ready to embark upon? How can I expand my horizons and seek personal growth? So that's nice. But I'd like to see why we're getting those prompts. I want to see what moon phase and what sign we're in before the prompts are listed. And I think I can access all of that with day. So we'll say the day dot phase dot phase. Okay, so day dot phase will take me here. And then if I say dot phase, it'll take me here. So I think I want day dot phase dot phase dot phase. I think. Let's see if that works. So that should say the waxing moon or waning moon or whatever. Oh, you know what? I want to put moon. So let me make a couple changes here. I'll just take out moon there and here. And then in my database, in my phases, I just want this to be new and this to be full. So we'll write those changes and then go back to day and we can add moon. So the whatever phase moon is in day dot phase dot sign dot sign. journal prompts. All right, let's see how that looks. Let's go back to the calendar, pick a day. The waning crescent moon is in Virgo, journal prompts. I didn't put these in divs at all, so they're all on the same line. That looks good. I mean, it doesn't. It looks incredibly boring, but it's working. It's doing what I want it to do. So I'm happy with that. Let's add away. Well, I need to add all my tarot cards to the database first. Let's see. I got started on that. I think I might have them all added, just don't have the themes and keywords added. Let's see. So we've got all of the cards with the sign IDs and the suit and number. So I just don't have the meaning and keywords in there yet. That I'm also getting from ChatGPT. Playing with ChatGPT is fun. It's insane the type of stuff that it creates. But I've gotten themes and keywords for the cards in each sign. I got the moon phase journal prompts for each sign. So it's been really useful for people who are as unoriginal as I am. So I have all of my tarot cards in each sign in here. So let's see. Do I want to have the code assign a tarot card for each day? Or do I want to draw a tarot card and record it? I think I want to draw a tarot card for each day and record it. That way on days I don't draw a tarot card, it's not putting one in there. Give me just a moment. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is have a space to put in the card of the day that I draw, or have a button that says draw a card for me, and then I'll have the database pick a random tarot card for that day. But let me make sure the database is working. So it created the day for Tuesday, November 7th because the day didn't exist. So now if I go back to the calendar and I go back to November 7th, that's still working. If I go to a new day that I haven't been to before, September 7th, that's good. And if I look at the database, we should have, 3 days in there? 4. Let me make sure they're all different. 11/15, 11/7, nope. 11/7 was created twice. So how do we prevent that? Let's look at routes. Day is equal to day.query.filter by date equals day.date.first. So does that just need to be date? Let's try that and see if it creates another one for the 7th. Let's refresh. Go back to November 7th and look at our database. That did not create a new one. So I guess it just needed to be date. So I don't know if I really even need the date in there. I guess I use it for the formatted date, but I could use anything for that really. Because this needs to be a datetime object in order to format it, right? Yeah. But I could just make it, because I'm reformatting it here. So what if I make that this? I'm going to leave it. I don't want to break it. All right, so I don't need this anymore. So that all looks good to create the day for now. Let me do some thinking on how Yeah, I think I'll end the video there and do some thinking on how I want the pages formatted. And in my next video, I'll start creating them so that they actually look nice and have, blocks for the prompts and blocks for the tarot card and all of that stuff. So yeah, that is all for today's video. I got the moon phase and the sign and the journal prompts printing to the page. I made sure it's all working in the database correctly, not creating extra days anymore. So that'll be all for today. Thanks so much for watching, as always. If you enjoyed this video or if it helped you at all, feel free to like or comment and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on my game progress and my planner progress. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.